What is my opinion on open relationships, polyamory, other forms of non-monogamy? Well, I think that as a medium to long-term strategy, they're completely untenable, because human beings, as far as I'm concerned, are fundamentally pair bonding. And, if you're just talking about casual sex, first of all, I think casual sex is a contradiction in terms. I don't think there's anything about sex that's casual, and I think that people are deceiving themselves badly whenever they think so. They might like to live in a 1970s Playboy adolescent fantasy, but I've never seen that work under any circumstances whatsoever, and I think people get hurt badly. It's also a bad medium to long-term strategy, because pair bonding is the most stable arrangement we know of, at least so far. Well, I won't even put it that way. It's the only stable mode of being that we know for the long run, and that's especially the case when you bring children into the equation. So I think it's delusional fundamentally, and I think that people who believe that such things work, I mean, sometimes they're open people and they're creative and they're exploratory and all of that, and fair enough, but often they're just unconscientious and they don't want to take any responsibility, and they want to live in this wish fulfillment fantasy where everybody can have all the sex they want all the time, and it's always wonderful and no one gets hurt. And it's like, sorry, that just doesn't work in the real world. So, my girlfriend is quite overweight, but I really love her. Should I try to encourage her to lose weight? Aside from personal preference, is this likely to explode into a major issue down the road? I don't think that you can fool yourself about what you're attracted to. And yes, it's certainly likely to develop into a major issue down the road. It's tough, because the devil's in the details. Should you try to encourage her to lose weight? I guess the question is, how would you do that without disrupting the relationship? And without knowing more about the details of that, I would say that I don't know what to tell you to do about that. I think that it's necessary to be truthful in a relationship, period. But I also think that you can't use the truth to hurt. The truth is a very complicated thing, and it's a sword, and it cuts, and you can't use it to hurt. Now, maybe you would be subtle enough to figure out some way that you could both embark on a health-promoting endeavor together, and that would work out. But I would say, if you're in a stable long-term relationship with someone, it's pretty much necessary for both of you to address all the issues that are making you unhappy with each other, assuming there's some give and take on that, because otherwise the relationship can easily come apart at the seams. Like, I would say my wife and I are both very hard on each other about our physical appearance, let's say, and I'd gained a fair bit of weight from the time I was, say, 40 till the time I was 50, probably because I was eating things that weren't good for me, and I would say that was primarily carbohydrates. I can tell you, if you want to lose weight, you stop eating carbohydrates, man, you'll lose weight like you wouldn't believe. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it because it has some dangers, but it certainly works. But, the alternative the alternative is to pretend that everything's all right, and all that means is that you're likely to get drunk someday and have an affair out of bitterness and spite in the fact that you're no longer attracted to your partner. So it's pretty rough. So that's a pretty rough way of thinking about things, but life's pretty rough. So